Okay? Code of Ethics for CPAs in the Philippines. Yung ilang points dito no, napag-usapan na natin before. Ayan. Pero ayan, dadaanan natin yung iba. Yung iba, basahin mo na lang on your own. Ayan. Code of Ethics for CPAs in the Philippines. The term professional means responsibility for conduct, okay, that extends beyond satisfying the person's responsibilities to himself or herself, recognizes as a responsibility to the public, okay, to the client, and to fellow practitioners, including honorable behavior, even if this means personal sacrifice. For CPAs, it is essential that clients and external financial statement users have confidence in the quality of the CPA's financial reporting and other services. Ayan, ito. Code of Ethics for Accountants. The new Code of Ethics is based on the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants developed by the International Ethics Standards Board of Accountants. The International Federation of Accountants, o IFAC, International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, maintains the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants to serve as a model for all codes of ethics developed and used by national accountancy organizations. All CPAs are expected to comply. Okay. Public interest, a distinguishing mark of a profession, is acceptance of its responsibility to the public. The public consists of clients, credit grantors, government, employers, employees, investors, and business and financial community, and others who rely on the objectivity and integrity of professional accountants. Okay. Yan. So ito, basahin mo na lang. The objectives of the code. The code recognizes that the objectives of accountancy profession are to work to the highest standards of professionalism, to attain the highest level of performance, and to meet the public interest requirement set out above. Yeah. The objectives require four basic needs to be met: credibility, professionalism, quality of service, confidence. The general application of the code. Conceptual framework provides guidance on fundamental ethical principles. Professional accountants are required to apply this conceptual framework to identify threats to compliance with fundamental principles. Okay, so binanggit na agad dito yung fundamental principles, no? Pero ah hindi pa siya nadadaanan. Ano ba yung fundamental principles na yan? So, puntahan muna siguro natin, no? Yung fundamental principles. Ito, okay, yung fundamental principles, kung mapapansin mo, familiar ka na dyan. Integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. So, ako noon, tinatandaan ko yan, IOPCP. Integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, and professional behavior. Okay, so ito yung fundamental principles. Sige, basahin natin. Integrity means to be straightforward and honest. Okay? When professional accountant becomes aware that the accountant has been associated with such information, accountant shall take steps to be disassociated from that information o yung mga uh, malicious, no, na info. Okay, so disassociate himself or herself. Professional accountants should not be associated with reports, returns, communications, or other information where they believe that the information contains materially false or misleading statement, contains statements or information furnished recklessly, or omits or obscures information required to be included where such omission or obscurity would be misleading. So yan si integrity, straightforward and honest. Next, objectivity, not allow bias, okay, conflict of interest, or undue influence. Okay, it is the principle which imposes an obligation not to compromise one's professional or business judgment because of bias, conflict of interest, and undue influence. So, objectivity, no bias. Professional competence and due care. Ayan. From the name itself naman, professional competence yan. Maintain professional knowledge and skill. Okay. Then, acting diligently and in accordance with applicable technical and professional standards. Requires the exercise of sound judgment. Then, it has two separate phases, no, yung professional competence. Maintenance of professional competence requires a continuing awareness and an understanding of relevant technical, professional, and business developments. Pangalawa, diligence encompasses the responsibility to act in accordance with the requirements of an assignment carefully, thoroughly, and on a timely basis. Yan. Professional competence and due care. Ayan. Self-explanatory naman. Confidentiality means to respect the confidentiality of information. Should not disclose any such information to third parties without proper authority unless there is a legal or professional right or duty to disclose. Then yung information should not be used for the personal advantage of the CPA or third parties. Compliance with principle of confidentiality continues. Ito, take note, even after the end of relationships between professional accountant and a client or employer. However, the following circumstances allow disclosure of confidential information by CPAs. Kapag permitted by law and is authorized by the client or employer. Kapag required by law, and there is a professional duty or right to disclose. So, ano ba example nito? Yung nabalita noon, yung company na parang pinagbibilhan ng face shields. Okay. Ayan, 'di ba? In-interview parang yung accountant yata niya ng company na yun. Tapos si accountant, yan, nagbanggit siya ng mga facts, no? Normally, confidential dapat yun. Pero, kasi yan, required by law. So, hiningi yung ano talaga niya, yung inputs niya. Tama ba ako ng pagkakatanda? Sa facial ba yun? Basta yung recent lang. Okay, hindi ko sure kung yun nga yun. Okay, so yan. Confidentiality, self-explanatory din naman. Ito, professional behavior means to comply with relevant laws and regulations and avoid any action that discredits the profession. So, dapat mag-behave ang CPAs. In marketing and promoting themselves and their work, professional accountants shall not bring the profession into disrepute. Yan, professional accountants shall be honest and truthful and not make exaggerated claims. Okay, so ano ba yung exaggerated claims? Pag sinabing tax expert, mga ganyan, yung mga ano pa ba? Master in bank reconciliation, yung mga ganun. So, exaggerated claims. Kasi dapat daw normal lang. Huwag kang OA mag-advertise. Okay? Nung skill mo bilang CPA. Ano pa ba? Ay, yung mga ganun, mga ganung klase na claims, no? Ayan. In marketing and promoting themselves and their work, professional accountants should not bring the profession into disrepute. Yun nga. Professional accountants should be honest and truthful. Yan, naulit lang pala siya. Professional behavior. So, yan. Yung fundamental principles. So, balikan na natin sa taas ngayon. Okay, ito. Conceptual framework. Professional accountants are required to apply this conceptual framework to identify threats to compliance with fundamental principles, to evaluate their significance, and if such threats are other than clearly insignificant, ibig sabihin, significant, apply safeguards to eliminate them or reduce them to an acceptable level. So, itong safeguards na to, hindi yan yung bumubula. Meron dito safeguards. Okay, ayan. Ito pala. And pati yung threats pala, nabanggit din dyan. Okay, itong threats na sinasabi dyan, threats to compliance to fundamental principles. Tara, puntahan natin, no? Yan. Meron ditong self-interest threat, self-review threat, advocacy threat, familiarity threat, and intimidation threat. So, ako naman, ang palatandaan ko dyan dati, si Rafi. Teka, saan na yan? Razer. Ayan, si Rafi. Ayan, si Rafi. Self-interest, self-review, advocacy, familiarity, intimidation. Okay. Kasi dati, possible pa na may enumeration sa mga exams. Ayan. Pero, ayan, sa atin naman, parang puro MCQ. Pero, makakatulong pa rin naman sa yan. Okay. Self-interest threat, which may occur as a result of the financial or other interests of a professional accountant or of an immediate or close family member. Ayan. Financial or other interest. Self-interest threat. Self-review may occur when previous judgment, take note, previous judgment needs to be re-evaluated by the professional accountant responsible for that judgment. So, judgment niya, in-evaluate niya. Galing, no? Self-review threat. Okay? Then, advocacy threat, which may occur when professional accountant promotes a position or opinion. Palitan lang natin kulay para mas maganda tingnan. Or opinion to point that subsequent objectivity may be compromised. Familiarity, okay, when because of a close relationship, a professional accountant becomes too sympathetic to the interests of others. Intimidation, ayan, when a professional accountant may be deterred from acting objectively by threats, actual or perceived. Okay, so yan yung threats na binabanggit dito. And yung safeguards naman, nandito sa baba. Safeguards may eliminate or reduce such threats to an acceptable level, fall into two broad categories. Safeguards created by the profession, legislation or regulation, at safeguards in the work environment. Ito, okay, ito basahin mo na lang. Yung safeguards na yan. Okay. Ito rin. For your reading na lang to. The code provides a framework to assist a professional accountant to identify, evaluate, and respond to threats to compliance with fundamental principles. Okay. Ayan. Ethical conflict resolution. Professional accountant may be required to resolve a conflict. When initiating either a formal or informal conflict resolution process, the following facts, either individually or together with others, may be relevant to the resolution process. Uy. Ito, basahin mo na lang din. Napapagod na yung lalamunan ko. Okay, self-explanatory din naman yan. If a significant conflict cannot be resolved, a professional accountant may wish to obtain professional advice from the relevant professional body or legal advisors. Ayan. Ito, actually ito, na-discuss na natin yan, ano, yung client acceptance, engagement acceptance. Ayan, no? Conflict of interest. Ayan. Yung mga types of independence. Ito, for your reading na lang din, ano? Okay. Ayan. Self-explanatory lang din naman itong mga to. Okay, sige. Siguro basahin mo na lang yung natitira dito sa parts na to. Okay? Ayan. So far, may question ka ba dito sa mga pinag-usapan nating bago? Unmute ka lang kung mayroon. Ayan. Mukhang wala naman. Sige. Iyan. So, after mo basahin ito, no, Code of Ethics, basahin mo rin tong non-assurance, engagements, and related services. Okay, review of historical FS, tsaka review of interim, tsaka yung mga iba pang parts nito. Ayan. Ayan. Short lang naman ito. At may overview na rin tayo nito nung dinidiscuss natin yung introduction to assurance engagements. Okay, sige. Stop natin yung recording, guys.